Look at this one. Isn't she beautiful? I love it. It is, now the chassis says it's a HJ45, and because it's got a fuel tank underneath the car and not inside the car, that means the chassis is a 1979, 1980 up to the 8th month. So the HJ45 was most popular in 1979, so 1979, but it has a more modern cab on it. It's a petrol cab from 1982 to 1984, which marries up to that chassis, not a problem at all. So this one also has a 2H in it. So let's just call it a 47, because that's now, once you put the 2H in it, they become a HJ47. And this one is a doozy. Luke owns this. Luke's actually local to Mr Landcruiser. You can just walk to his place from here. So he is very local Caboolture-ian. And he's found us to help him with a few gremlins. We'll go into detail, but let's talk about the vehicle. Luke found this far north Queensland, or not, it's probably up just above Townsville on a station. Now this was somebody else's project. So the cab was on a rolling chassis with an engine just mounted there, and that's it. Luke got everything else in a crate, and he had to piece it all together himself. And now Luke had a deadline. He wanted a 45 or a 47 for a wedding vehicle. He's getting married, and he did it. He got it done. It was a wedding car. Well done, Luke and his new misso. They've got it there, and couldn't be better. A very special day, topped off with the Landcruiser as your wedding car, a classic Landcruiser as your wedding car. You've done well, son. Now the exterior of this car, we'll go through it. I love it up the front. It's got the bull bar, the spotlight, the fishing rod holders, the GEM aerial, or whatever brand it is, like they all do. But look at this, the milk crate. There's even something in it, but I love the milk crate. Look, legalities, who cares? I love it. He's running the Kumo tyres on, they look like a neg zero neg rim. And beside me here, he's got a Mr Landcruiser. Yeah, we sell them on the shelf. www.mrlandcruiser, the high lift jack mount. There's no better place to keep it, easy access, and it just looks as tough as fuck as well. So this is the great place to have it. Now for the wedding, you can't really see it. Well, maybe we'll do a shot of the back. So the floor, Luke did the tray himself, put all the timber on the floor to give it that look, classic look for the wedding. And then now he's put the toolboxes on there. There's toolboxes underneath just to utilize space and stuff. I want to open the bonnet. By opening the bonnet, yeah, it's a 2H, and it doesn't have a turbo or anything shiny yet, but I want to show you why is this vehicle in at Mr Landcruiser this visit. Okay, let's have a look under the bonnet. Luke, you need a fan shroud, mate. That makes a difference. It will help a little bit, but that's not why we're here. And you will notice this doesn't look right. That's because it's fiberglass, nice and light. And also on this vehicle, the roof is fiberglass. The bonnet, no other part. She's all steel, pieced together with steel, but 2H. Why is it in at Mr Landcruiser? If we have a close look over here, the wiring speaks for itself. It is a bird's nest. Well, a bird's nest might even be prettier. Luke got this going for the wedding, and he's utilised what came in the crate, and he's patched it together to his best of his abilities. He's done a good job, but long term it is no good. He's having major issues. So this visit, it's about getting him on the road quickly so he can daily this, but then rebooking it in the future for other things. Complete loom being one of those. If you don't know, we do complete looms. You can see the regulator cap is off. This thing is fried. This is one of many things, but you can see all the little fire and burn marks in there. She is fried. There's a bird nest of wiring in there. There's other interesting things. Somebody has made a spacer in the thermostat housing. There's an upper and a lower, and they've made this big hoobadoinga of a spacer. Who knows what for? There is a sensor, like a temp sensor or gauge hooked up there, but that's definitely a little bit homemade. That was always there, he said. The shiniest bit under this bonnet at the moment is some superior engineering diff breathers, but that's Yeah, that's the shiniest thing. The rest is pretty standard. It won't be when it leaves here. The boys are going to do a bit more tightening and consolidating of some wire, and then we're going to rebook this one back in. Look at that. She's also got a bit of a homemade snorkel there too. Serves a purpose. I do question the intake size, but I know future plans will go into that snorkel's coming off. The interior, isn't she sweet? It is a later interior, like 82 to have this dash. It's got a throttle and not a choke, so it tells me that this, at some stage, it probably was a diesel cab. The diesels come without the tacho, but this dash, and then in 82, then the tacho come later. So it's probably a diesel cab. It's got, the first thing you notice when you open the doors is the rear upholstered seat. Somebody has, if it's Luke or the previous owner has reupholstered, they are really nice, new cushions and everything. Pretty stocko in here. We've got a hat holder. We've got a Mr Landcruiser smelly and an interior light back here. Aftermarket little speedo, so if his speedo wasn't working, he's got one of these little King's Jobby. They actually reflect the speed up onto your windscreen. He's got cup holders to utilise, have a bevy, and it has like extra Siggy sockets just plugged in there so you can charge phone and what have you. The carpet, I've noticed the carpet. This is the exact same carpet that Richard has around his toilet at home. If you go to Richard's house, this is what welcomes your feet. 5:30 a.m. before he comes to work, he does a poopy, and this is what he rests his feet on, and he says this is the nicest carpet you could put in a car because it's beautiful at home with a coffee and a poopy. So that's a nice choice, Luke. I really like your choice. That's it. It's stocko. There is custom door cards here. He probably got them done the same size as the seats. They look so brand new. It's a J06 dash cluster. That's also telling me that's petrol. So this car's got a big mix of different parts. Again, Luke bought this in a crate and put it back together. Okay, so this came to us for electrical. Now the dodgy wiring, the alternator regular blew up. She was throwing 19 volt through it, and that blew everything. 12 volt just blew up. All the lights, every single light, everything just went kaput. And that's the basis of why it's here, is to chase it back around. And again, it needs a bigger addressing than what we're giving it this visit, but let's get Luke back on the road. So that leads me to future plans. Future plans for this vehicle, Luke tells me the wiring, probably an ACL loom, a turbo, and that's why I mentioned that snorkel's got to go. There's no way that snorkel has the correct airflow for a turbo 2H, so he'll probably we'll go through him with his options and snorkels to go with a full turbo kit. And future plans is then to use it. If the engine's sound, he's got the turbo and the loom, then to take her out back and really use it. It's done the wedding, now it's time to get it ready for some outback traveling. And what other than a 40 series would you want to do one in any way? So fantastic, Luke. That's Luke's car. We're not finished working on this one, but it's a HJ45, FJ45, HJ47 combo here at Mr Landcruiser. Nice one, Luke.